accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, it's Football Friday on the Monty Show. Happy Friday, my friends. We made it November 8th, 2024. Just 2.5 weeks away from Hawaii for me, not for you, because everybody ain't able, but I am. The point is, nothing. I thought that was okay. We should move on. We're presented by the Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365. TheAdvocates.com, they're ready to fight for you. Just talked to the Advocates yesterday. I had a wee bit of an issue I needed some legal advice on, and of course the Advocates are available when you need them, where you need them, and how you need them. Call them on the phone. Get on the interwebs. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. At theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. And it is Giving Friday. The Advocates are partnered with the folks at Thanksgiving Heroes. 1 and 6 kids are hungry today. 1 in 6 kids, your friends, your neighbors, the family across the street that seems a little weird that you've never spoken to. 1 in 6 kids is hungry today. All those kids that trick-or-treated at your doorstep last week, 1 in 6 of them does not know where their next meal is coming from. We can put an end to that, and it starts today on the show. $5, $100. I'm asking you now, all 137 of you watching this show live right now, whether you are on Twitch, whether you are on Facebook, Twitter, or of course right here live on YouTube. I'm asking you right now, open up your phone and get on Venmo. Advocates donations. $1, $5, $20, $1 million, whatever you have. Please consider donating today so that 1 in 6 kids are not hungry, so that we can feed kids on Thanksgiving, and so you know what we are talking about. So you know what we are aimed at. It is this right here. This is where your money's going. The Advocates and Thanksgiving Heroes are working to provide these boxes that include basic things. Obviously, a turkey, stuffing, things like you see there, olives, cream of mushroom soup to make gravy. The things we all take for granted, a pumpkin pie, we take it for granted. Rolls on Thanksgiving, we take it for granted. This box right here is going to feed a family for weeks. And it is going to be delivered by the people at Thanksgiving Heroes. And we need your help today. I understand you're here to talk football. I'm asking you to consider making a donation to the Advocates. We'll give away a $50 Amazon gift card as we do every Giving Friday on this show. All you have to do is direct message Jake, DM Jake, SLC Jake on Insta, Snap, Face, everywhere you are. You can send it to him on Instagram is the best way to do it. And I think the technical address, Jake's actual address, let me edit this. I believe it is SLC Jake with an underscore after it. I know. Let's get crazy. SLC Jake underscore is where you find Jake on Instagram. Send him a screenshot of your Venmo that you sent to the Advocates. Please don't give us free memberships today. Please do not give us super chats. Please donate it on Venmo. 1 in 6 kids. You know these kids. They're in your neighborhoods. They're in your kids' schools. Maybe they're in your school and they're hungry. Let's put an end to that. Good morning. Shout outs already. Maury Alvarez, first one in. Maury says, morning, boys. BYU has yeoman's work to do for the Big 12. What a huge weekend of college football. Especially, I think it is a critical weekend in the Big 12. And I think we have a lot of previews coming up on the show as we do every Friday. BYU and Utah. And this line has fluctuated. I looked this morning as I was laying in bed, not fully clothed. And it is 3.5, between 3.5, or 4, depending on where you get your action from. Saturday night in Salt Lake City, 8:15. It's going to be in the low 40s. It is going to be great football weather, and it's going to be the game of the year in the Big 12. Not far behind that, 2 o'clock on Fox. Colorado Buffaloes football. Heads to see the Fighting Joeys.
Right.
In Lubbock. You like your guy Dion this weekend?
I do. I think the lack of defense in Tortilla Land is going to come back to get them against Colorado.
In Tortilla Land.
Yeah. I think that, Texas Tech.
Okay.
Love what Joey's doing. I think they're heading in a reasonably good direction, but that defense is going to come back to get them. You're not going to play a 17-16 game this week. I can tell you that right now.
No, the defense at Texas Tech obviously worries me. And I think as we talk college football, and we've talked college football live all year long on this show, the trends in college football are explosive offenses backed up by solid defenses. Alabama, you look at Ole Miss, certainly Lane Train. LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the teams in the SEC. You look at the Ohio State. You look at Oregon, explosive offense, really solid defense. The best teams in this country are explosive. The elite teams, the Oregons, I think the Ohio State is in this. I think certainly Georgia. I think Bama to a lesser extent. You have to be explosive on both sides of the ball. And I think Lane Train, I think Tennessee certainly falls into that category. Well, I don't know what to make of LSU, and I'm interested today to talk a lot of SEC college football here on the Monty Show. I want to know what you guys think about explosiveness and who's truly elite in the SEC. Is Georgia elite? Absolutely. Is Bama elite? I think elite's a stretch for Alabama this year.
Mm-hmm.
Are they very good? They are. Is LSU very good? They are. They're not elite. Is Ole Miss elite?
No.
I don't think so either.
Very good, not elite.
I don't think so either. I think that we tend to put everybody in the hall of very good, and they just don't belong there. You know what I mean? Like when we look at this weekend, you look at what is on the line. I think if you look at, again, where are the rankings? Look at these rankings, right? And if we put the rankings up, how many truly elite teams? How many truly elite teams do you see in these rankings? Oregon's elite.
Certainly.
Is the Ohio State elite? I want to, but I don't know that I can call them elite. I've seen too many moles on the face of that offensive line.
Well, and I just think the Ryan Day situation, I think it's hard for people to trust him.
Is Georgia elite? They are. Is Miami elite? They're not. Miami's very beatable. Miami is a flawed football team. Well, unfortunately, they haven't lost. If you're not an ACC fan, they haven't lost once, not even once. Cam Ward's a Heisman Trophy contender. Texas, Penn State, anybody below Georgia, in my opinion, is not elite. And I think that's the way college football should be. We have a lot of really good teams in this country. But how many of them are truly elite? And if you look at the rankings that came out for the college football playoff, again, I asked the same question. If you look at those 4 teams on bye, is BYU elite? Certainly not. Is Oregon elite? Certainly. Miami, no. Georgia, yeah. I think 2 of the 4 teams that win the conference championships or are projected in these rankings are elite.
Yeah, well, and I think this sense of like if we were to pose a question like which of these teams can make more plays on any given Saturday, which of these teams can make more of those plays that decide a game. I think that's an interesting way to phrase it that I saw yesterday on Twitter. Like Obviously when you look at these brands, like some of them really stand out as like, hey, these are, big time programs that really, really excel at these certain situations and items in the football game, but then really struggle in other situations. And, I think Ohio State, I'm with you. I want them to be elite, but I don't feel as though they actually are elite. I feel like they've allowed us to question their quality. And so to me, I think Oregon and Georgia are probably the two best teams in the country. It's a situation where I feel like if Georgia and Oregon matched up, it really depends on where that game is played. Because if you're at Autzen, that's a really different situation than if you're in Athens.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you that Georgia is the best team I've seen this year. You know what I mean? Like they are certainly somebody that I think is explosive on both sides of the ball, as we talked about. Carson Beck's a problem for Georgia. I know we've talked about this cat on this show for a long time. I think Carson Beck's a huge problem for them.
How many of these teams have quarterback problems, though?
A lot.
It's strong to say Carson Beck is a problem.
Oh no, I really.
Enough. Well,
I think Carson Beck has that propensity. And I know we're an SEC show here.
Obviously.
But Carson Beck, that's exactly right. Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Carson Beck has that propensity to just not deliver the football in time and space in big moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think we saw that against Bama, certainly. Better in the second half. He was a disaster in the first half. I think he had some really questionable moments against Texas. I think the defense won the night for Georgia that day. I don't know. I'm not a Carson Beck believer. I am not a believer that he is, that he is somebody that I'm not a believer that Carson Beck's somebody that I want to win me a championship. If Georgia is going to win the college football playoff this year, and I think they will be right there at the end, that defense, that pass rush, their innate ability to intimidate you before the game's even played. Their tape intimidates you. That's what separates Georgia right now. And we all question Georgia's defense. We were wrong for doing that. That defense is really good.
Yeah, and I think that, the thing with that Georgia-Texas game and the thing, like the lasting impression was, I just felt like, the Texas defense, their scheme, their play calling, the time in which they brought pressure, and then the time when they backed out, like, I don't know. They just played a great game that particular night. But we've seen them be vulnerable against other teams. We've seen them have this propensity of like, hey, we're going to start like the Alabama game. We're going to start really slow, and Bama's going to come for us and we're going to be way behind. And then we're going to come back in that game. And, I just question whether or not you can do that against, the best teams. Because for Georgia, that's all that matters. We're not talking about Georgia playing BYU or maybe a lower level team as far as the college football playoff is concerned. We're talking about Georgia playing, Oregon. We're talking about like the best teams in the country. And I really do believe it is Oregon and Georgia and kind of everybody else right now. I wish Texas had bounced back better. I wish that, because it kind of feels like after the Georgia game, they just haven't been the same team. They haven't had that excitement that I don't know how we want to phrase it, but just that energy around the program. And I look at the rankings and it just feels like, yeah, it's Oregon, it's Georgia, and everyone else is just trying to get there at the end. So I don't know. I want more. I want better quarterback play overall. And I feel like Cam Ward and the Cam Wards of the world really rob us of that. He is a phenomenal talent, but whether it's him turning the ball over too much or whether it's Carson Beck not delivering when he needs to, like or Will Howard against Petto State, like what are we doing? And then comes back and leads his team to victory. It is a classic scenario this year of really inconsistent play, but also really like exciting moments and finishes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Carson Beck, I look at these quarterbacks, which is really what we're talking about here. Let's be honest. In the biggest games this week, again, BYU and Utah are a perfect example of this, right? You're gonna get a BYU Utah game for the first time in 3 years, and it is a It is a rivalry game. It is the Holy War. It is the best rivalry in college football. And I'm here for it in the comments section. What do you think is the best rivalry in college football? Because if BYU and Utah is not the best rivalry, it's certainly the one with the most heat. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think if you look at this game this weekend and you look at the number and you look at the spread and you look at the importance of this game to the Big 12, I think it's awfully difficult to make the argument that you are not looking at a game that is must win for BYU in the Big 12, because Utah has a chance, and they will have a chance just about every week remaining this year to wreck the Big 12 season. That is what is on the line. And if you are Utah and you are facing BYU and you are in a position to beat BYU and knock them out of the college football playoff, your season can be saved. The heat, the vitriol, the anger, that's what makes the Holy War the greatest rivalry in college football. And I've covered a lot of really good rivalries. Back to Notre Dame and Michigan, SC UCLA, Michigan and Ohio State. You look at some of these games and you look at some of the rivalries that have been created. That may be Bama and Georgia, right? Bama and Georgia certainly right now is a better rivalry. And I do think it's a rivalry. It's a better rivalry than Bama-Auburn, just because Auburn's not relevant. But here's my point about the Holy War. It doesn't matter if BYU's been relevant for a decade. They're relevant now. And tomorrow night in Salt Lake City, they're more relevant than Utah for the first time in decades. BYU is in a position to compete for a national championship, and Utah is just simply hoping to wreck that. Utah's not trying to go to a bowl game tomorrow night in Salt Lake City. They're not trying to compete for anything other than wrecking BYU's season. It's been that bad in Salt Lake City for the University of Utah, and I got to be honest with you. I think this is very good for the rivalry. If BYU goes to Rice-Eccles Stadium and wins this game, and I think they will, this could be an incredible change in the landscape of football in the state of Utah, because one of the things you just don't understand unless you have experienced this rivalry, this impacts recruiting. This impacts the conversation on Sunday morning in church. This is one of those things where Isaac Wilson, the quarterback at Utah, is there anybody who would be shocked if he wound up transferring to BYU? I certainly would not be. That's happened before, and it's going to happen again. There are players on both of these rosters who were best friends in high school who now hate each other for one night in Salt Lake City. It's the greatest rivalry in college football because it's life and death. It's family, it's friends, it's broken relationships that can never be repaired because BYU is playing Utah with a shot at the national championship on the line. It's why BYU and Utah have to be in the same conference, and for years have not been. The snubs, the slights, the disrespect, the looking down the nose from the Pac-12, the billboards pronouncing Salt Lake City Pac-12 country, all that goes away. All those demons are exorcised if BYU goes to Rice-Eccles Stadium tomorrow night and wins. It almost does not even matter what happens the rest of the year. If BYU goes to Salt Lake City and Utah wins that game, all is forgotten. Nobody cares that Cam Rising's 87 years old and is out for the year. Nobody cares that Kyle Whittingham, the rumors of his retirement, the rumors of moving on, nobody cares because Utah beat BYU. That's what's on the line. Years and years and years of pain and disrespect all could be exercised tomorrow night at Rice-Eccles Stadium. And I'm telling you, if you don't understand the greatness of BYU and Utah, you're missing out.
Certainly. And I think that, that's perfectly said. I mean, that encompasses it. I think that, yeah, I mean, I think that, I don't think Utah's got any type of chance to win this game. I'll be honest with you. I think this game isn't about Utah, in my opinion. This game is about BYU. Like, if BYU plays well, plays the way they've been playing, runs the football, protects the football, they're going to win this game comfortably, in my opinion, because I think they've got a defense that's going to make plays and get turnovers and make Utah's offense, essentially pay for being really mediocre. And Utah fan wants to sit here and say that, Micah Bernard's going to come out here and just roast people. Mekhi Bernard is going to roast people and pull another Ollie Gordon on BYU's defense. And I'm just sitting here telling you, if that's going to happen, he's going to do that against nine guys in the box. And I just don't see Utah coming out here and, dominating BYU on the ground. Because if you're going to that, you're going to play this game. You're telling me Jay Hill and company aren't sitting here saying, okay, we don't need to worry about the deep threat in this game early. What we need to worry about is stopping the run and controlling them and making sure that they understand that, yeah, sure, you've got Bernard, but we have a linebacker room that's willing to match his physicality. And that's the one thing that I think Utah fan probably doesn't want to talk about is that you haven't really seen a defense that is willing to match Bernard's desire to punish you. And I do think that, Glasgow, Jack Kelly, these dudes are willing to come out and match your physicality. And it's going to come down to who's winning in the trenches. It's going to come down to who is winning at the point of attack. And it's a classic age-old football discussion.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to come down to who wins the trenches, according to BYU offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick.
The game is won and lost on the line of scrimmage for sure, and we're going against a very, very good front. I mean, Utah's as good as it gets in college football in the front seven every year, and so we're going to have to be ready to play for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one saying it anymore. Go ahead and discount that defense at Utah at your own peril, because I think that team is very good. And I think when you look at the other side of it, I know I played this yesterday and I caution you, there's a little language here. The messaging from Utah to BYU and BYU to Utah is very different.
Excuse my language, but it's fuck BYU, man. I've never been a part of the Cold War, but I'm excited now.
Utah's got great players. I mean, they've had the history of having great defense, having a great defense. And so they have great players with great coaching, you know what I mean?
Well, this Cold War.
Yeah, the Cold War.
What is the Cold War? Right. That's the amazing part of this. You heard from Aaron Roderick. You heard from Hinkley Rapati at BYU, the running back. Oh, Utah's great. And
great players, the coaching staff. Wow.
That front seven, one of the best in college football. And then Kyle Whittingham, the head coach at Utah, won't even mention BYU's Jake Retzloff by name.
I'd say the QB is the catalyst. You look at individual rushers, individual receivers. There's nobody that just jumps out statistically. It's a collaborative effort, but the quarterback is the catalyst, in my opinion.
And you know what that takes me back to? Oak State. Oh, number 15. or what was that? It doesn't look like they should beat you, but they just do.
Yeah.
It's like
Gundy.
Mike Gundy. Well, they're a bunch of nice old hillbillies over there at Utah.
Yeah, Alan Bowman after Utah week.
What?
In his media availability saying they had never seen cover one in camp and that number 15 was everywhere.
That's what's great about this rivalry.
Dudes have names. I don't know if we all know that.
Yeah, I think this is and I'm here for the score predictions. Get in the comment section now. What do you guys like? And the other question I think is really important here it is also this game right here. This one, it's a huge game. And I know that BYU and Utah is going to get all the headlines in the Big 12 this week. Totally get it.
Listen, because we're talking about how BYU and Utah hate each other. Listen to how Dion praises Joey, like how nice this is.
Tremendous friend of mine, Texas Tech. I love him. I loved him ever since he was at Cedar Hill. I was over there. I got to know him because my son Bucky played in his organization, and just a pillar of consistency, commitment, and he was a dog. Like Joey, what you see is what you get. He don't mince words. Someone I could call and lean on to understand how this college thing works at sometimes, because I'm still new to this, although I'm true to this. I still need him and various coaches at times too, and I can't wait to see him and hug his neck. Usually I don't really, get down like that with other coaches for the game, but I'm definitely going to look him up to try to embrace him.
And I thought it was very clear last year that Joey mentored Dion on how to play defense.
Yeah, well, Monty, Shiloh Sanders' defensive play was really elite.
Colorado's defense last year was hot. Colorado's defense last year was
hot ass.
It was not good. And this year, Colorado's defense is better, and Joey's defense.
I win. Google me.
Yeah, Google Dion, because they're winning with defense. I'm kidding. I think this is a huge game.
Yeah.
This is a huge game. And it's a huge moment in time for you because you have a chance to help kids that are hungry. 1 in 6 kids is hungry today. They don't know where their next meal is coming from, and that's why our great Floridian Maury Alvarez is in. Monty, Thanksgiving kids. All I can say is TDS is going to rip off TUN.
TDS.
TUN. The team up north's head, and you swoop as their Thanksgiving turkey.
Damn.
Okay. Maury Alvarez, 5 more. Sick girl giving to kids in need. Monty Show kids. I love it, Maury. Thank you. Maury Alvarez clearly in the lead this morning with $30. Get on Venmo. Advocates donations. Advocates donations. 100% goes to feed hungry kids. 1 in 6 kids in our communities, no matter where you are watching this show. No matter where you are. Our largest markets on the show, obviously Salt Lake City in the state of Utah. Texas, all over Austin, Texas. Lubbock, Texas is one of our top 20 markets now. Dallas, Houston, 1 in 6 kids are hungry. The great state of Florida, Miami, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, all big markets on this show. 1 in 6 kids are hungry. Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus, 1 in 6 kids are hungry. Detroit, good morning, Detroit. Detroit breaking into the top 20 markets on this show now. 1 in 6 kids are hungry. Get on Venmo. Donate to the advocates. And I truly understand times are tough now. I get it. I totally understand it. Food is expensive. If you have $1, if you have $5, if you have $100, please consider donating anything that you have. That makes a huge difference in the life of our kids in our community. All right. BYU Hate Week. Okay. Utah 8, BYU 6. Utah can't win if it's anywhere near going over the point spread. Dude, you ain't wrong.
It's facts.
That's the biggest question. Can Utah score enough?
Yeah, what
to
is
beat
the,
BYU?
What's the number in this game? Like 43, I think, or something like
The
that?
number in this here ball game is 41 and a half.
41 and a, yeah, I mean, you know, you're
Listen, here's the biggest question. Can Utah throw the ball enough to get Kelly and Glasgow away from the line of scrimmage? That's all you need to know. The answer is no. I don't think they can.
Yeah.
Because I think this secondary at BYU is very comfortable and prefers to play man. Jay Hill, I think, very much prefers to play man. And if you can have Isaiah Glasgow free-ranging to the football, Utah has very little chance to win this game. BYU has shown that they are susceptible against the run. I would run that ball. I'd run 40 times tomorrow night. I'd run the ball 40 times tomorrow night. You cannot throw an interception in this game. I think, and I am dead serious about this, if BYU intercepts a ball and returns it even 5 yards, not to the house, but returns it 5 yards, Utah will lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to tire out that defense through the run game.
And I think that the difference is if you throw one of those, hey, we're going to punt anyways, let me take a deep shot and it gets picked off. Okay, I'm good with that. Flip the field with an interception, I'm fine with that. If you're 1st and 10 on your 35-yard line and you go all Will Howard last week against Penn State, you're going to lose this game by double digits.
Yeah.
And you just can't have it. And right now, Utah doesn't have a quarterback, Brandon Rose, Isaac Wilson, whoever it winds up being, that can confidently operate an offense, especially in 2 minutes. Utah can never trail in this game if they want to win.
Yeah.
You can never trail in the game. I think there are some real easy cornerstones and benchmarks to hit here. Jay McClanahan says 28-10 BYU. I think that is a pretty close prediction. I'm not far off of that. Kim Coulter, good morning. BYU 24-7. That would be a dominant performance. Ryan Smith's receding hairline. Where
You're
have
back.
you?
You're
Boy,
finally back.
let me tell you something. Huge win in that loss last night for the Utah Jazz. I was a
in the
little
pooper for
concerned.
Cooper, dude.
Yeah, I was a little concerned for the Utah Jazz last night. But they hung on to lose that game. I mean, win that.
Show up.
And if we're doing the In the Pooper for Cooper updates, which a lot of people have asked us to do, Lowry had a sore knee last night. Only scored, I think.
Sorry, who?
Lowry, the prime rib, only had I think he had 8 points last night. Stayed away from the Jazz on Prize Picks. But if we're doing In the Pooper for Cooper updates, that was a huge win. That loss last night was a huge win.
Of the worst record in the league currently.
Huge win for the Jazz in that loss last night.
Yes.
Do you know how much fun it is for me to do that? Huge win with that loss last night. They snatched victory from the jaws of victory last night.
We show up.
I love you all. Jazz fans are like, Marty, you don't even watch games. You know.
What's to watch?
I'm right here with you in the bowl. We're all pooping for cooping.
I get that.
Pooping for cooping.
Oh my God. I'll stop. It's so much fun for me because it's exactly what we told you was going to happen. And you guys know I don't like telling you how when I'm right or how right we are.
Do that on this show.
Or good looking. I don't have to tell you how good looking I am because your wife tells you.
Yeah.
But my point, advocates donations. I'm a wretched human being. Let's see. What do we got? My OSU Cowboys, as Charles Barkley says, are just terrible. Is this Oak State, James?
Yes.
You should give me an Amazon gift card so I can read books on coaching. I'll replace offensive coordinator because he's done. All right, $55 now. We are at $55, only $945 to go. We want to raise $1,000 every Friday on this show until Thanksgiving. Please hook it up. Advocates donations. And James, I am not going to allow you to be the offensive coordinator at Oak State. I'm not. I cannot recommend you for that job. I will not give you a reference.
Yeah, they don't have enough Amazon Kindle budget for you, so
I would agree with that. Or good morning, San Diego State. Glenn, what's going on? Glenn, hope you and the Fam Bam are well. 28-19 BYU, bet the over. I think you have to bet the over. They're daring you to take the under in this game, right? 41.5.
Yeah.
Sean Rollins, good morning. Fire Marshal Bill. Wow. Love. What was that? In Living Color? Fire Marshal Bill with Jim Carrey. Let me tell you something. Exactly right. San Diego State, Glenn, times are becoming tougher. Pending tariffs are already impacting U.S. business decisions. I'm not getting into mortgage rates. I'm telling you,
bro.
You guys, I understand that money is tight. I do, but I just cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how important it is that those of us, and I want you to know we donate as well. We are putting our money where our mouth is. Please do not give us super chats today. Send it on Venmo to the advocates. Please do not donate memberships today. Send it on Venmo. Give it to the advocates because they're giving it to, and I want you to go, if you have any questions, and you can just go to thanksgivingheroes.org, no matter where you are, thanksgivingheroes.org. In Salt Lake City, it's slc.thanksgivingheroes.org. This is a huge calling. They need to raise $134,000 before Thanksgiving. It's a monumental task. And all of the money that you donate goes to feeding hungry kids. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me say it. I'm going to say it for the next 3 weeks. This is what we're fighting for right here, you guys. This right here. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're raising money for. We're not raising money for Lamborghinis or people to get rich, or we're raising money for basic nutritional needs. That bag of potatoes that you see there, do you know how much that means to a family that can't afford to buy food? One bag of russet potatoes. Do you know how much that means to a family? It's wild. And I think the thing that I really struggle with, we're talking about things like pumpkin pie, man. Do you understand that? Like, we're talking about, last night, my wife made me of a feast, this non-bread with this bitchin' sauce you get. It's literally called bitchin' sauce with cheese, lettuce, fresh chopped tomatoes, ground turkey. You know what I was sitting there thinking about when I was eating that? 1 in 6 kids are hungry. I wonder what a kid would think of this. It literally is on my heart that much that I'm thinking about it while I'm eating, because I have way more than I deserve. Now, I've earned it, but I think to myself, 1 in 6 kids are hungry, and I have way more than I deserve. That's what I'm asking you to consider. And we want to raise $1,000. Send Jake a screenshot of your Venmo right here. Advocates donations on Venmo. Take a screenshot of it when you send it. Send it to SLC Jake on Instagram. Right there. SLC Jake _ on Instagram. Send it to Jake. Let's
do it.
Let's put some food on the table. Let's do it. San Diego State Glenn, forget the excrements for Cooper. The Suns done the thing that's right this year in the NBA draft. Well, you're not wrong. There's a lot of people who say Chaboy, the Slim Reaper, is an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he's off to a good start. See how he holds up. You know, I think that, you know, they're what no one wants to say is he's having to put in that kind of performance for them to win ball games, and that's not.
It's a little concerning.
Yeah, he should not have to be putting up, 36 a night, 32 a night, 35 a night. Now, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly enjoyable to watch. He is my favorite player for a reason. I love watching the dude play basketball, but you're not getting away from the fact that you're having to have Kevin Durant do what he does for you to win a ball game instead of you just playing good basketball and overwhelming the opposition. So I love that he's in the MVP conversation. I think on a different planet, he'd win the MVP every single year. He's that good. And I think that goes the same for Braun and several of these guys. So I think, every time we haven't had the chance to really get in NBA this year yet, but we need to be appreciating these guys. KD's 36. Steph, I think, is 37. I think maybe younger than that. I can't remember.
Steph is 68.
Yes.
No, his ankle joints are 68.
Yeah. So we've got Braun, we've got Steph, KD, Chris Paul. You've got several of these golden era guys who I grew up with who are going to be out of the league soon, and we're going to be Anthony Edwards in the new generation.
Steph is 36, 1988.
Yeah, 36.
I think that when you look at this era of, I hope if you're a basketball fan like I am, I'm an obsessive NBA fan. I hope that you understand that this is a golden era of NBA talent. Chuy Gonzalez, Jazz won't ever be successful as long as Ryan Smith owns the team. I hope you're wrong.
Well, I think what's
hope you're wrong.
about
I can't say you are, but I hope you're wrong.
I feel like the new car smell is already worn off for the hockey club.
Me too.
I'm not seeing anybody talking about it.
Did anybody see how few people went to the Utah basketball game last night? Like the Utah Utes, the running Utes.
Yeah, nobody goes to their games.
That place was empty.
Yeah, well, again,
is
I'm
basketball
not even trying to be an asshole about it, dude. I don't think there's a reason to go to their games. What are you going for?
The women's games are packed.
Well, that's but
they're competing for national championships. That's probably a different show. MVP Luka is the man.
Okay, you go back to your Kindle, bro. Yeah,
go back to your Kindle, bro.
Stay hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luka for MVP is
wow.
Yeah. No.
All right, let's get into the comment section, you guys. On the what is the biggest game in the Big 12 this weekend? I'm curious your thoughts. BYU and Utah. I actually think it's Colorado and Texas, and I don't write off Utah in any way, shape, or form. I think BYU is going to handle that game. This game right here, I think is vital. This is the game, in my opinion. This is the game that I think could potentially have the most impact on the Big 12. If Colorado loses this game, they're done. If Colorado wins this game and does it swimmingly, and I think there's a chance that Colorado scores 40 points in this game, I think there's a real chance that Colorado goes to the college football playoff, Jake, and I think there is a real chance that you are going to see Deion Sanders. This Florida State thing, by the way, it's interesting. I was talking to people in college football this week about the Big 12 college football Super League chat. And Deion Sanders to Florida State came up on a regular basis this week amongst the people I was talking to. I do think if Deion goes to the college football playoff or even gets close to it, I think they're going to fire Mike Norvell in Tallahassee, and I think they're going to call Deion. It was very interesting that when you look at the respect across the board now that Deion Sanders is getting for what he has already built in Colorado, taking a team that didn't compete in 99% of its games, now being in the conversation for Coach of the Year and a college football playoff spot. Jake, I think this is nothing short of a pretty miraculous turnaround in Boulder.
Yeah, I mean, I think Deion deserves a ton of credit. I think he brings the right energy. I think, he brings this sense of like accountability inside the program. And people criticized him, people hated on him, people don't like his style. Whatever, he's too in your face with it, whatever, man. He does it the way he wants to do it. And, there's no denying now when you look at their season, you're talking about a 6-2 ball club who has, a Texas Tech team this week that they are more than capable of beating. And you look at the rest of their schedule, like let's say Utah loses against BYU. Now you're going to go to Utah and play them after they've just lost the Holy War and have nothing to play for. I like your chances in that game. Like you look at the rest of the schedule, it's winnable. And to me, yeah, I think, Deion going to Florida State, I think is a prime opportunity for him. See what I did there? Prime. It's
Deion Sanders prime.
Yeah.
Coach prime opportunity.
Yeah, right. It all kind of works together. But the point is that I just think that Deion has shown he can coach and build a program, and folks, like Florida State.
Has he been vindicated? And I want to get to the Florida State thing, but has Deion Sanders been vindicated from all of it's Louis, you're probably not going to be here, my guys are coming, get the hell out of it? Like, has he been vindicated?
Yeah,
from
I mean,
that?
I think that people can't say, well, you don't win anything and you just think you're better than everyone. I mean, you can't say that anymore. And he's got good wins on his schedule. Obviously, his whole mission is to win as many games as possible, which I think at Colorado hasn't been the mission. Colorado's been a program that has just been like, yeah, we'll show up and we're going to lose every week. And
we show up.
Nobody cares. And we're going to put one running back in the league every 10 years. And that's pretty much it. And I think that's where you say, yes, if Deion were to win out and they were to be a 10-2 ball club and they were to maybe get a look at a college football playoff opportunity, I don't know. It's just easy to say if you're Florida State or anybody else, hey, well, if he had our kind of funding and our kind of resources and, he was in our location, how much better would he be? And that's what I think is hard for Colorado to keep him. Other people are going to be coming after him all day.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. He is, I think, one of the things that's not talked about enough is the development of Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Seton at left tackle and the running backs. Like, you're looking at a defensive scheme that is not very different. It's just the talent is much better on defense.
Right.
The portal really helped them on the defensive line. The linebackers are well coached. I think Shiloh being healthy enough to play makes a big difference on the back end of that defense. They've developed their talent. And I think that has to be talked about with Deion Sanders, because remember the conversations we had this year? They can't recruit. Deion doesn't recruit. Portal only. Well, it turns out he does recruit. And it turns out he does put guys in the league.
Yeah.
And it turns out he does develop talent.
Yeah.
So now on to the Florida State part of this.
Yeah.
I think if Deion goes and he swoops up on Texas Tech, which he should, you look at that Texas Tech defense, I think they're going to have a real difficult time containing the Colorado offense. And I don't think that Texas Tech's offense is good enough to overcome Texas Tech's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Would it surprise anybody if you saw like an Abilene style shootout in Lubbock with Colorado and Texas Tech, it would not surprise me.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I mean, that's the kind of game I expect out of this. I expect frankly, I expect 40 out of Colorado in this game, 100%. I think, they're an explosive offense. I think that, that the problem is it's not just that your defense, isn't great. It's that your, situational play calling also is lackluster. And, when it's like what we talked about with the Bears earlier in the week, right? Where you're in pass defense in a run situation. Like, that's just bad. Like, I see that out of Texas Tech on a pretty regular basis defensively.
I would agree with that.
And
worst defense, statistically speaking, in the Big 12 is Texas Tech.
So would anyone be surprised if, Shedeur had, 400 yards, 3-4 touchdowns, they ran for one, like, maybe you get a defensive turnover. Like, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. And I think that's why the number's, I believe, 62.5. Like you're talking about a 40-24, 40-27 kind of game.
But again, if I said to you, put a number in your head, where do you think Colorado's defense ranks in the Big 12? If you have Iowa State number 1 at 15.5 points and Texas Tech dead last at 34.5 points.
I'd put a middle of the pack somewhere, like maybe 9th or 10th.
Yeah, you're completely wrong. How about 6th at 22 points a game? It's shocking. It for what we saw to his defense last year, to what you alluded to earlier, to being the statistically sixth best defense in the Big 12 in this league with all these quarterbacks and all this offense. Ouch! Goddamn.
What are their passing numbers like as a defense? Like
a defense, Colorado is 6th against the pass.
Yeah.
They're giving up 209 yards a game, 6 interceptions, allowing 62% completion.
Okay. So
those are they're not spectacular numbers.
No, but that's really solid.
No, very solid.
I mean, I asked that because obviously for Tech, Baron Morton and company, obviously that's going to be a big deal.
They're third in passing offense in this league. Yeah. Texas Tech is getting 282 yards a game. The problem is, who's number 2? Colorado, getting 323 yards of passing offense a game.
Yeah.
Against a defense that gives up 307 a game. Yeah. It's not again, I love, you guys know this. I think Baron Morton is one of the best quarterbacks in this league. I think that Taj Brooks is the best running back in this league. You can't outscore the Texas Tech defense if you're the Texas Tech offense.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. And I think when you look, what is the best predictor of a future outcome? Past actions.
Yes.
And you look at Texas Tech this year, and even last year, defensively, they are prone to blowing their feet off. Bad play calling, not enough talent, guys in the wrong spot, lack of communication.
Well, and the only difference this year is now we've come to expect it. Last year it was shocking. This year we're like, yeah, this is kind of who this team is. Like, and just to put this into perspective about like what's on the line as far as the Big 12 is concerned. I mean, you've got BYU at 5-0 in conference, obviously. Iowa State at 4-1, Colorado at 4-1. So the question really is, hey, Iowa State's at ranked 17th in the country. Colorado's 20th in the country. Colorado wins and Iowa State loses. Iowa State's season's over, and Colorado is now in the driver's seat to go to the Big 12 championship game. That's what's on the line. And I hate where Iowa State's headed here. But when I look at the Big 12 this week, I mean, that's what we're talking about.
That was a huge. I don't think I can think of an adjective, big enough to describe the disappointment in Ames last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't even. Rocco Becht, the whole thing across, it's a shocking loss. It is a shocking loss, especially when you don't have BYU on your schedule. And that's why I say this Colorado game, we're no longer in the territory of fire Joey McGuire. That's not happening.
No.
But you have got to find a way, because this is a team that I think, and I'm probably too much of a Texas Tech believer, but I think Texas Tech should be the flagship bearer of this conference when it comes to football.
Mm-hmm.
I think that highly of them. Their basketball program in Lubbock is on the rise. There's nobody questions that after last year, certainly. But you look at this football program, and Joey, this is one of those games where if Joey McGuire can find a way to get his Raiders to win, think about it from that perspective, especially to all my friends in Lubbock. What would it mean to you for Texas Tech to upset Deion in Colorado at Jones AT&T?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine? There are not enough tortillas in the country to celebrate that win. I mean, that would be unbelievable what that would mean. And having said that, I can't find a way that happens because I just don't believe in the schematics that this defense at Tech runs. I don't believe you're not all of a sudden going to have your dudes who are not nearly as fast. And this is one of the things that I've said about Tech all year. And I know that Tech fan doesn't agree with me. You're not fast enough on defense to compete in this league. Not right now, not with this incarnation of Big 12 offense.
Certainly.
That to me, I think the league will change dramatically next year. And I think it's one of the reasons that people believe so fervently that if Deion's going to leave Colorado, it'll be right now. And I'm not sold that he is, but it's undeniable that he's going to lose Shedeur and Travis to the NFL.
Well, look at how he, how the Colorado thing came together. I mean, you had a situation where, he was winning at Jackson State, and then, they come off of that. I believe it was an undefeated season, I believe. And then you get upgraded, you get promoted essentially. And, obviously Shedeur comes with you and you're able to get Travis Hunter and you're able to kind of put something together. And everyone criticized him because in his first year, they weren't very good.
But when did he get wait. Let's make this very clear to the people who say Deion Sanders can't recruit.
Mm-hmm.
When did he get Travis Hunter? Was Travis Hunter in the portal? No. He got Travis Hunter in high school. Travis Hunter, lest we forget, and every Colorado fan I'm sure knows this. Do you guys understand that when Deion Sanders recruited Travis Hunter to Jackson State, he was singularly the best high school football player in the country? In the entire country. And he went to Deion in Jackson State. Deion can't recruit. My point is, and I hear it all the time in the comment section on Twitter. I hear it all the time. Like I did Denver Sports Radio a couple of weeks ago talking about Colorado. And everybody said there when we, because they had me on specifically to talk about what we said about Florida State. And again, I will say, if you think that Deion Sanders can't rebuild the roster at Florida State, have you been paying attention at all? Deion wants the basement when he goes somewhere. Because if he goes to Alabama and replaces Nick Saban, is that a harder job than going to Colorado? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Is going to a basement, bottom feeding, don't have a quarterback, don't have a lot of talent, Florida State. Is that a more difficult job than pick any other university you want who's going to fire their coach? Yeah, it is.
Florida.
Well, what are you thinking in Gainesville? Is it a more difficult job to go to Florida State where you don't have talent? Arguably, they're going to be, there's no other way to say it. Florida State's in a really bad spot talent-wise.
Yeah.
And if Norvell stays there, they're going to have trouble upgrading that roster. Just no doubt about it. If you look at Baylor, let's say Baylor fires Dave Aranda, which apparently they're never going to do.
Never.
If they whack 8 ball,
Mr. Clean,
that's not a difficult job to go and rebuild, in my opinion, if you have any kind of recruiting prowess. But if you think about any of the top programs in this country, let's say Ohio State whacks Chip Kelly or Ryan Day or
Sharon Moore.
Sharon Moore at Michigan gets fired. Do you know how difficult that job is? Florida State's not a tough rebuild. Blue blood football program, really beautiful part of the country. Deion's an alumni there. Can you imagine Deion Sanders walking into any household in Wade County, Florida? It's Dade County. I say Wade County, LeBron. The
Right,
alley-oop,
LeBron, Wade, the alley-oop.
the statue that doesn't look like Dwayne. Anyway, the point is, if Deion Sanders, yes, I'm an asshole. I totally get it.
Stay hard.
If Deion Sanders walks into any house in any southern Florida county, that kid's going to Florida State. If you're Mario Cristobal at Miami and Deion takes the Florida State job, are you happy about that? Absolutely not, because you just lost recruits. You just lost recruits. Imagine winning a national championship with Prime as your head coach at Florida State.
Don't you know who I am?
Come on. I'll do the chop with you.
Yeah.
Because it's happening.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think if Deion wants to go to Florida State, that's going to happen. I think it is. All right. Before I get to your comment sections, I want to update the Advocates donations because Jake has been sending me screenshots. Hit them on Venmo. 1 in 6 kids in this country are hungry, and I'm going to continue to beat the drum. I am going to continue to beat the drum. 1 in 6 kids in this country are hungry, and that's absolutely unacceptable. With our wealth and our riches, and I am not rich, I am not wealthy. Am I in the 1% globally? Absolutely. It's why I believe so passionately. And if you watch this show, you know, we've done everything from school supplies, Halloween costumes, Sub for Santa's coming as we did last year. Do you guys understand during the Sub for Santa cycle last year, we raised $10,000 on this show for kids who didn't have Christmas.
Yeah.
We can do this. I am asking you today, help us raise another $1,000. If you donated last week, please consider donating again. And if you don't have it, I totally get it. I'm not judging you. And I appreciate everybody who watches this show. Everything we do today and Fridays until Thanksgiving is about feeding those 1 in 6 kids that are hungry because it's your neighbor, it's your friends, it is the kids your kids go to school with, it is those kids in your Boy Scout and Girl Scout troop, it is the kids on your football team, your basketball team, your soccer club. 1 in 6 kids are hungry. Every baseball team has multiple kids who don't know where their food's coming from. Every football team has at least 5 kids who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Those are the percentages we're talking about. Last year at this time, it was 1 in 10. This year, it's 1 in 6. We're going in the wrong direction. We can make a difference today. Donate right now. Advocates donations on Venmo. Advocates donations. Take a screenshot of your Venmo when you send it. Send that Venmo screenshot to Jake on Instagram. SLC Jake. SLC Jake with an underscore at the end. We're going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card 1 hour from now. Maury Alvarez, I think, currently has the lead. Only because, and I know that we do this regularly, but I feel like I have to remind you, the memo section is critically important on Venmo. If you put Monty Thanksgiving Kids in there, you're going to get a leg up. If you put Monty Kids, you're going to get a leg up. Maury, all I can say is TDS, that'd be that team down south, BYU, is going up to rip off Team Up North's Utah head, and we're going to use Swoop, the Utah mascot, who's a bird, as a Thanksgiving turkey.
There you go.
He gave 25 and 5 more.
Yes.
Which is
30
amazing.
doll hairs.
Which is amazing. Now we get Isaac Wilson is going to smash Cougar tails all over SLC tomorrow night. Go Utes and shout out the Marty program.
Dude sent me this message and said, my YouTube name is usually the Buffalo Hunter, but I'm currently BYU Hate Week.
Oh, wow. That's who BYU Hate Week is.
Hey, you start talking shit.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Also, I want to remember James, because who's got the lead right now? Cougar, Isaac Wilson taking over for his brother and banging his mom's friends probably has the lead right now.
Wow.
What? What? That's what it's a reference to.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? The Buffalo Hunter in here talking about Cougar tail?
Yeah.
Dude, Real quick, can we talk about donuts while I put this latest one up here?
Oh, I love donuts.
So do I, but I read a study yesterday.
Let me guess. They raise your blood sugar and you're going to die sooner if you eat donuts.
Donuts are horrendously bad for you. Terrible for you. $25. CP did not graduate from Florida State and often doesn't speak of them in a positive way. Coach Prime, I think is what you mean. And often doesn't speak about them in a positive way. Never say never, but he ain't going to Florida State. Old Tatanka.
Phil Stahl.
Oh, Phil Stahl. Way to go, Phil. I appreciate that. $25 there, $20 there, $25 there.
Yeah.
5 and 25 is 30. Do the math. So we're at $30. $25 is $55. $20 more dollars is $75. And then $25, we're at an even $25 or at an even $100 after those donations. I think the Buffalo Hunter's in the lead.
Yeah.
Isaac Wilson and Cougar Tails.
Well done.
Let's go. Hook it up. Hit Jake on Venmo. SLC Jake _ after you donate. 1 hour from now, a $50 Amazon gift card goes to you if you are notated as the winner. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show on a Football Friday, as always, presented by our friends at Prize Picks. Okay. America's favorite daily fantasy app. It's not my job to win. I mean, Prize Picks has to make their money too, right? And last night on the old Marty program, they certainly made that bread. Because I got to tell you that the win streak has come to an end. Thank you, Anthony Edwards, who scored 47 points, rebounds, and assists last night, tearing up the beloved Chicago Bulls. I say Chicago Bulls and you stop. But Derrick Henry, okay. Can we talk about Derrick Henry real quick? You guys know you know who Derrick Henry is, right?
Do you even live?
You guys know who Derrick Henry is, right?
Bro.
Hey, I'm just curious. Who needs some ham for Thanksgiving dinner?
Ye of huge ass.
Anybody
Derrick
feel
Henry?
like some peaches this morning?
Bro, like what are we doing here, man? Like, why are we trying to tackle dude by his pants, man?
Hot ass.
Like, come on, bro.
I got to tell you, I'm jealous.
Dude.
Your boy needs to get in the weight room because I need some hams like that. Okay, let's move on because that's awkward. He only got me 1 touchdown. He needed 2. So speaking of 2, how about a couple of nope.
Google me.
I'm going to hell. Thankfully, hell's not real. Zay Flowers, you're a punk. I needed 62 receiving yards out of Zay. He got me 34. The win streak's over.
Yeah, I needed less than 267.5 for Burrow. He had like 5,000 yards last night.
Yeah, it's not good. And I would tell you this weekend, though, the redemption train is leaving the station.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you this weekend, there's a lot of really good plays this weekend. I think there is almost no doubt Shedeur Sanders, 328 yards passing. Don't you have to go over that against Tech? Right? Travis Hunter, 102 yards receiving. More. Right? I think you absolutely, there's some real value. Jackson Dart, under 272.5 passing yards. Have to. Right? Come on. Who are we even kidding here? And then if we go Russian receiving touchdowns, and I almost the big game tonight, Cal and Wake Forest.
Wow, man.
The big
wow.
The ACC tilt.
Oh man, I just can't even
stay hard.
Can't even wait.
No, I'm fine. I think we can. I think we can kind of check that one off the list. But I will say that there are some really good Quinshon Judkins for half a touchdown against Perdone. I think you got to take that.
Or don't.
For sure. What? That's who they are. But Prize Picks, download the app, use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more at Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Travis Hunter has no competition. He's on his own level. Dude, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how good Travis Hunter is. It is wild to me. Marty sharing food with the kids. Michael Jordan says, help the kids. Push the pay button, RJC. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Eric in Durham.
Eric in Durham with a huge blast. My guy, Eric in Raleigh, long-time listener. Long-time listener.
First-time caller.
He goes all the way back to the KMBR days. Over 10 years.
Sports leader.
Appreciate you for $20 right there.
Yeah, nice job, dude. See, that's a really solid take right there.
There was a little controversy last week on the program about how to use Venmo. But RJC, man, but he figured it out, and we appreciate that. All right, let's get your comments in here rolling on. Do you think Deion Sanders goes to Florida State? Cam Harrison says Cold War Eve.
Why? I ain't never played in the Cold War, Marty.
Yep. College football is pain, Xavier Wolf says. Could be. Enriched flour, sugar, fried in oil. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Nothing, dude. It's
have
a
one for me.
Nutritional diet.
And donuts. Have one for me, dude.
Yummy.
I love donuts. Apple fritters. Oh, blueberry cake donuts. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I read a study on. I get a newsletter that sends me every time a new study comes out. Or macaque monkeys break out of their prisons.
Macaque monkeys.
Did you guys hear about the macaques that broke out of their prison? Chalk went up for the good guys when those macaques get loose.
Macaque.
Not my macaque. They're macaque monkeys.
Right. They're macaque monkeys.
Stay hard.
Anyway, okay. Stadium guy James, you said Tech's offense can't keep up with Colorado. I'd take Morton at Oak State in a second.
Well, that goes without saying, dude.
It's not because Baron Morton's bad. It's because, number one, the Colorado offense is elite, and that Tech defense is the worst in the Big 12.
Bro, anybody would take Baron Morton over, Alan Bowman. Dude who's never seen cover one in his life.
I still cannot believe he said that.
Like, come on, bro.
Brad Adams. Anthony Edwards, is that one of Mike's kids? Well,
it sure looks like it.
That or Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler's certainly one of Mike's kids. Is what it be, right? BYU Hate Week. Jalen Glover is my guy. Jalen Glover is my guy.
Excuse my language, but it's fuck BYU, man.
And well, sorry guys, I didn't mean to curse. It was just a slip of the tongue.
Hey,
there.
no disrespect to the Cold War, okay?
Yeah. The Cold War, bro.
BYU, and you called it the Cold War.
You got to be better than that, bro.
That's right, T.
Comrade, you got to be better than that. The Cold War. Are you out of your mind? All right. Let's see. Who else is in here? And Donut says Witt was quoted as saying he wouldn't coach past 65. He's turning 65 next month. I have a hard time believing Witt walks away from this.
You don't walk
version.
away after a garbage season, dude.
I think that's probably true. It's possible. He's a wealthy man beyond belief, but there's also.
But it's a pride thing. You don't want to leave the game.
Yeah.
On the bottom after your first season in the Big 12. Like that's not. You don't want that.
I would agree with that. I never said Deion isn't a good coach. He's just too cocky for me. He should go to South Carolina.
Okay, then what is Gundy? What is Gundy then?
Don't start. Alumindursky, hello. Iowa State versus Kansas has a playoff feel. Can Kansas do it? Isn't that at the terribly named Arrowhead Stadium? GEHA Field. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Kansas is capable. Iowa State's playing for their life right now. Iowa State loses that game.
Yeah, it's at Arrowhead.
Yeah, that'd be tough. Kim Coulter. Hello, Kim. Good to see you. Can't argue any of that on Tech. Appreciate that. Replica. Prime isn't leaving CU for FSU. FSU's recruiting class is falling apart as we speak, and Shedeur Travis won't be there to help him rebuild. FSU is arguably in worse shape than Colorado was 2 years ago, but that's why you go now. You go when they're in the turlet.
Yeah.
That's why you go now. Fat old Mormon and dying, anything is better than Utah's defense. I don't think so. Could be wrong. Also, Julian Lewis is going to flip from SC to Colorado. Prime isn't going anywhere. If he flips from SC to Colorado, anybody think he would flip from SC to Florida State?
By the way, speaking of SC, did you guys see that Miller Moss is getting into the transfer portal? I mean, just shocking development.
Yeah. Mile High Phil. I still don't believe DM will leave even for Florida State. If Julian Lewis commits to Colorado, he won't go anywhere. Could be.
We'll see.
Could be. How many guys had followed Deion to Florida State? I think it would be like a gravitational tractor beam.
A lot.
Yeah. Yo, Boyd Lake. Hello, Boyd. Good to see you, my friend.
What, a gravitational tractor
like a
beam?
tractor beam in Galaga.
Well, beam me up, Marty.
You guys remember Galaga?
Yes.
Or you probably don't. That's fine. Travis says there is not a flag bearer in the Big 12. This is very true. And it's what I say about Tech. I think Joey and Tech should be better. Kim Coulter, Travis Hunter is a Heisman Trophy lock. I don't know about that. I think Cam Ward's getting a lot of love in the Heisman Trophy. And if they went out, Geoff, go. Good morning, dogs. Go Cougs. Huge weekend for you, Geoff.
Mm-hmm.
Geoff, is Juan Soto a West Coast guy? Geoff is one of the few people that will actually engage in a conversation about stick and ball sports on this show. Are the Cubs the sleeper team on Juan Soto? They haven't asked me yet, so I doubt it'll happen. I doubt they would sign him because now that I'm a season ticket holder of the Chicago Cubs, they consult me on nothing. And so I think the Cubs are a sleeper team on Juan Soto. They need a number. They need a stud. They need a guy at the top of the rotation. That's what they need. So Boyd Lake, Colorado is fun team to watch regardless if whether you're a fan of Prime or not. Travis Hunter is a force of nature, truth. Shedeur Sanders is great when he has time to throw. I would agree. And Donuts, Florida State, nowhere to go but up. Now, nowhere to go. Reality is, Mile High Phil says, Deion will stay because this would be the best place for him to reach his goal. He will dominate the Big 12 for years.
Yeah, but what about the ACC, bro? Like, the ACC is softer than the Big 12.
He's already shown he can recruit here at CU. Truth. Tanner Plumer. Sup, gang. Game day eve. You mean for Real Salt Lake? Is that what? I thought their season was over.
I am very curious what BYU fans going to do if you lose this game. I don't think you will, but
you're not losing this game. I don't see any other way. Sent another $100 just now, Kim Coulter says. Wow, let's go, Kim. I appreciate that.
Send me a screenshot, man.
He says, I don't do Insta. Gotcha.
Do you do Twitter? I know you do Twitter.
Do you do Twitter?
Yeah, we've tweeted with you, haven't we?
I haven't looked at my DMs.
You could tweet it at us if you have Twitter.
Yeah, I would love for you to.
You know, the Elon platform.
Why? Why go all Elon? Dude, my auto insurance. My
Dude.
home. What do you think I pay for home and auto insurance right now?
Too much?
$322.
You gotta switch, bro.
Dude. Did you switch?
Yes.
Where'd you go to?
I went to State Farm.
It's getting expensive. It is. I think you might be right. Fat old Mormon and dying. Donuts will make you fatter, older, Mormoner, and thus deader. Probably true. I love donuts. I do. So my wife and I we basically never eat out. It's just not good. I've turned into a hypocrite. What did I have for lunch yesterday? Dude, I was on a phone call yesterday and I threw up in my mouth after lunch.
Okay.
That I forgot about that. I meant to tell you about. So I'm talking to a dude, and I'm like, "Yeah, every woman thinks I'm hot. They all want to get I had chipotle for lunch yesterday.
Did you get the brisket?
I did, like an idiot.
See, that's your problem.
Like a leper.
That's the problem.
It was so good. And then my wife came home and made these, like I said, naan bread with bitchin' sauce. Like she made these, but they're like essentially gorditas. Cheese, bitchin' sauce, turkey, lettuce, fresh chopped tomatoes. It was amazing. And then she handed me a Fat Boy ice cream sandwich mini that was like Oreo cookie with caramel in it. That's the first real, like, since Halloween, because I may have had a piece of candy or 79 on Halloween.
You know.
It was so good. City Cakes in Salt Lake makes plant-based donuts pretty dank, if you ask me, dude.
Pretty dank, if you ask me.
Is that like dank weed?
Okay, let's look up. Let's do. Okay.
This is gonna get
define
ugly.
Dank.
Define dank, because isn't marijuana described as dank?
Dank is defined as disagreeably damp, musty, and typically cold.
Do you want your donut to be described as dank? See, my wife has got me on this healthy eating kick. I told you I got on the scale yesterday. I'd lost 4 pounds. I actually much prefer, dude, I don't eat much meat anymore. My wife is my wife is an oppressive monger who just doesn't let me have fun. Which is why she bought me Cubs season tickets and we golf every weekend and we travel a lot. But my point is, she does not let me have fun with food. But dude, I'm telling you, and I know that you guys are going to be like, vegetarians are wussies, Monty. Totally get it. I love it. I love the food she makes. Like she makes her soups. I'm telling you. Ooh, and there you go. I think it is. If you guys are judging, Impossible Nuggets are the greatest thing in my life. They're the greatest thing in my life.
Hey man, I mean, I'm glad that you're enjoying them.
Donuts are bad for you. In other news, water is wet. I know.
Right.
But it does. When's the last time we had donuts? I think that last time somebody sent donuts to my front door is the last time we had donuts. When my dog died, a friend of mine sent, though, didn't we get whatever that
Duck Donuts?
Duck Donuts.
Yeah.
Thank you. I believe. Let's see who we got here. Chrissy, the Advocates, helping out. I appreciate that, man. Make sure you send your donations. 40 minutes from now, we'll give away an Amazon gift card, a $50 Amazon gift card. All you have to do, much like Chris E did right there. Chris E did right there. Donate your bread, and we'll give away $35. $50 Amazon gift card. Hit Jake on Instagram with your Advocates donation on Venmo. SLC Jake _ is what Jake is on Instagram. Send him, and if you want to send I really prefer you don't do it on Twitter because I never look at my DMs. Dude, how many DMs do I have? 68 DMs.
Which is different than 69, so we're all clear. It's different.
600 plus notifications. I'm not doing it. DM Jake. Like, I'm not getting into my DMs or notifications on Twitter.
You don't want to hear from people.
Because it's a wasteland of death and destruction. You know. It's ridiculous.
You have to check it before you wreck it.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. All right, let's go. Kim Coulter, don't care about the gift card. Donate to the kids. I don't do X, Insta, Facebook.
Okay, let me
TikTok, just YouTube. Leaves more time for golf. Exactly right.
Okay,
Kim.
Let me check. Not that I'm doubting you, Kim. But
Get into the Venmo app because it'll be there.
I'll check the Venmo app here.
Look at that, Chrissy, newest member of the Monty Show.
See,
appreciate you. You don't have. I get it. ACC West Coast Commissioner Gumby says, dude, UW fan Jim. I thought all donuts were plant-based, aren't they? Though all donuts are healthy for you. What is your junk food of choice? I know we're supposed to be talking football today, but What is your junk food of choice? I'm trying to think the last time I had French fries.
I can't confirm Kim Coulter did donate.
Oh, Kim, you're the best, dude.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. Who else donated?
We've got Kim Coulter, Phil Stahl, Kyle Jensen,
Thank you, Kyle.
Yee of Can't Hit the Pay Button, James White.
Loner Phone donated.
And Maury Alvarez.
Appreciate you guys. Let's go. Mayor McCluskey. Hi, BYU win yet? Dude.
Bro.
Mayor?
Yeah.
You are tempting fate. All right, let's reset the program. Giving Friday on the Monty Show. We are raising money for the Advocates today and every Friday until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Heroes. If you are not in Salt Lake City, just thanksgivingheroes.org. If you're in Salt Lake City, slc.thanksgivingheroes.org. 1 in 6 kids is hungry. On Giving Friday, we are asking you, in lieu of super chats, in lieu of free gifted memberships, consider making a donation to the Advocates on Venmo. Advocates donations, we're bribing you with we're rewarding you with a $50 Amazon gift card. Holiday giving season is here, man. $50 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is donate on Venmo. We will give away one person, and I'm just going to tell you again, the comment section matters on the Venmo donation. The comment section matters on Venmo donation. Dude, that was weird.
What just happened?
There was like an old lady standing right. That was the weirdest fucking, what was that? I that was weird.
Bro,
anyway,
are you okay, dude?
Moving on. Ghosts aren't real. Ask Mrs. Monty. I
Cocaine
swear
is a hell of a drug.
There was an old lady standing there. That was the weirdest thing in the world. Okay. Advocates donations.
I didn't sleep for the past 2 nights because of this. I was that upset.
Dude.
That was weird. Advocates donations on Venmo. 1 in 6 kids is hungry. You guys. Here's what we're talking about. All of your money goes to this right here. Every penny goes to Thanksgiving Heroes. This is what they're buying. They're putting these boxes together, and then their staff and our volunteers. And if you want to volunteer, thanksgivingheroes.org. They'll happily take your time to deliver food boxes. And let me tell you something, as somebody who has done this, and I pretty much do it every year, it is humbling to roll up to somebody's house and hand them a box of food and see the emotion and the relief on their face, because they're going to be able to give their kids a Thanksgiving meal and they're going to be able to eat that night. That's what we're talking about. That's the level that we're talking about. 1 in 6 kids. Think about your kids and then say to yourself, well, they play soccer, right? How many kids are on that soccer team? 1 in 6 of them are hungry. There's usually 70 kids on a Pop Warner football team. 1 in 6 of them, 6 or 7 of those kids are hungry on that football team. Think about all the kids your boys are in scouts with, or your girls are in scouts with. 1 in 6 of them are hungry. You probably don't even realize it. You certainly don't. Look around your neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood that all I see is kids running around. 1 in 6 of those kids in my neighborhood is hungry. It's real. How many kids ate because of trick-or-treating? Hungry kids eating Halloween candy is not my idea of a meal. That's why I'm asking you. That's why we're fighting for this. Please donate $1, $5, $100, whatever you have. Get on Venmo. Advocates donations on Venmo. All right, let's see. Chrissy, the newest member of the show. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Look at you guys donating memberships. Brandon Butler, 5 Monty Show memberships.
Nice job, dude.
Thank you, Brandon. Chrissy donates 5 Monty Show memberships. Thank you.
Nice job.
If you're considering, and I appreciate all of the people donating memberships, if you're considering giving memberships, please donate on Venmo instead. But thank you so much, you guys, for donating memberships. Who's picking up those memberships? Slapnuts RC.
Slapnuts is back?
Your name is Slapnuts, and I've missed you. Littlefoot, Matt Bunker, Tyler Birkbeck, all picked up memberships.
Slapnuts RC is an OG, dude.
Rico Suave.
Hey,
Jesse
Rico.
Wilson. M-E-Z-Z, Masterful, Connor Burkett, John Steele.
Which is different than Phil Steele.
Ho-ho! Okay. It just felt appropriate right there.
Yeah.
You know. John, I'm not understanding what's happening. Well, we're giving you the opportunity to help feed kids today, and we're talking football.
Yeah.
West Coast Commissioner Gumby, we still need a live showroom from Skinwalker Ranch. We do.
Yeah, that ain't happening, bro.
That was weird. Like my wife will probably slap me in the face.
Because she'll slap you in the nuts.
G off. Ghosts are real. Ignore your wife. She doesn't even believe in meat, for hell's sake.
Spinal.
She eats meat. Trust me.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
The Maverick Center ghost and her cats visiting you again, Monty.
Yeah, check out the donations, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Check out the donations.
Do we have multiple donations?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's go. Where
should be the top two?
This one right here.
Yeah.
And then this one right
this.
there. This is the Marty program. From the Marty Show, because I can't find a pay button. Oh, there it is. 13.
Brandon, be nice. Be nice. Be nice.
Loner Phone is never going to live
nice,
that down,
bro.
I don't even know if he's here today, but if he is, the Marty Ghost hashtag for the kids, $5. I appreciate
Eric
that.
and Durham.
Thank you, Eric and Durham. I appreciate it. That's your second one today. I appreciate
The Marty Ghost has come back alive.
Steely Matt, you going to call Ghostbusters? I probably should.
I mean, yeah.
It's weird to me. Like, we had an incident when we were in the old Maverick Center, where we built a studio in a sports arena. And before there was no lube applied. I'm not gonna.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
We were doing the show, our morning show there. And we were just sitting there and the lock turned and the door handle turned. We had a lock on our studio door, an electric lock. Just open on its own.
Yeah.
And then just a minute ago, I swear to you, there was like an old lady standing right there, like, what the? It's weird. So I believe in ghosts? Somewhat. Wait, you aren't at Maverick Center anymore. We are not. We built a new studio. No, I will not say it, Snuka. I refuse to say those words. And there is Loner Phone. Can you guys remind us every conference that won a playoff championships?
No, you can look it up.
Not many. The college football playoff. We still need a live showgram from Skinwalker Ranch. I'm never going there.
No.
I'm never going there. Ever. All right. Thank you so much for donating. Let's keep that going. We've got about 30 minutes. We need about $500 now. We're about $500 short. So get on Venmo.
Do it.
Advocates donations. We're looking for $500 more in the next 30 minutes. And if you have it in your heart, you have it in your wallet, please consider donating on Venmo. Really appreciate that. You can check out their cause right there at thanksgivingheroes.org or slc.thanksgivingheroes.org. Let's get into some games. Let's start with Alabama at LSU. It is the game of the weekend in the SEC. I think actually the second most, because I do think Georgia Ole Miss, who we're going to do in a moment, I think Lane Train's got a chance in that game. Alabama, LSU in Death Valley, a home dog on a Saturday night. How confident are you that Alabama can win this game, Jake?
I think the hard part for me with having confidence in Alabama in this game is that they haven't shown really the ability to consistently play good football. You know, it's been their Achilles heel this year. There hasn't been one thing that's been like their go-to to win football games. Like some weeks it's the defense, other weeks it's because they ran the ball a little better. Like other weeks it's that, Jalen Milroe passed it a little better. Like there's not a tried and true Alabama Crimson Tide formula this year to win football games. And, when you're going on the road in the SEC to play a night game at Death Valley, like I'm a big believer that you got to have something that you can lean on, your calling card, you're the thing that you as a football team can say, okay, we're going to lean on this. And that's what's going to allow us to control this game a little bit. And I just don't feel like Alabama has that. And I think, the hard part is I do feel like a lot of times with Alabama, there is a lack of composure, and it's not any one person's fault, but I just feel like they're not that same team. So my confidence in them to win this game is not high. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think, when it comes right down to it, who the hell knows who's going to make the play? It's that ultimately decides it. But I think generally speaking, I would be leaning LSU just because it is in Death Valley.
What?
Yeah, and I know Lane Kiffin's going to tell us that it's an unfair advantage, and Brian Kelly gets all these great advantages, and yada yada yada. Like it doesn't matter if he's wrong or right. It's where you're playing the game.
But is Lane Train wrong? The answer is no. He's not wrong. No, he's not wrong. It is a huge home field advantage to play in Death Valley on Saturday night. Why does LSU get so many Saturday night home games? Because it's an advantage. Here's the thing you're not considering, though. Is Alabama going to run the ball? Didn't run the ball against Vandy for whatever the hell reason.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't run it against Tennessee. And how many games have they lost? Oh, that's right, those 2. When Alabama cracks 100 yards on the ground, and they will in this game, because LSU's run defense is not great. Hey, it's Brian Kelly. Yeah, he sucks. What? That's objectivity on the Monty Show.
Yeah.
I am not a Brian Kelly fan. As a Notre Dame fan, how could you possibly be? Right? I mean,
he won you a natty, didn't he?
No, Manti Te'o's girlfriend won a natty.
She's probably hanging out with the grandma over there.
That's right. I don't think LSU can hold Alabama under 100 rushing. And let's be very frank about it. LSU turns the football over.
Yeah.
And that Bama defense is a turnover creating machine. This is an Alabama win. I understand it's Death Valley, but there's revenge on the mind of the folks in Tuscaloosa with that overtime fiasco 2 years ago. I think this is a win for Alabama. I love the fact that this matchup is all about turnovers and running the ball. That's what football should be about. That's where Alabama lives and dies. That's where Kalen DeBoer football teams have historically had advantage. When Kalen DeBoer as a head coach has run the football, they're better. They're better. And I understand this year that when they break 100 yards, they're undefeated. Again, they lost to Tennessee and they lost to Vandy, and those 2 games they didn't and couldn't run the football. That's not going to be the case against LSU. Bama's going to be able to control the clock. I think they're getting a defensive touchdown or damn close to it. I love Alabama to win this football game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. Again, I don't doubt their ability to win the game. My concern is that, and you've seen this too. Like they just have this propensity to not make the play, to be in a situation where you're down and you're trailing on the road and you have to come back and you have to I don't want to see that. What I want to see is them come out and control this game early and play ahead, and then be able to, allow your defense to, obviously have to cover the pass, because LSU would be behind at that point.
Yes.
So, I have trouble saying it, honestly. I feel like I'm going to regret. I feel like I'm going to regret saying that Alabama's going to win this game, and they're going to win by, 3 points, but that's what I think we're talking about. I think they'll win by a field goal at most.
How was Garrett Nussmeier against Texas A&M? Well, Monty threw for 405 yards and 2 scores and 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
And LSU lost 38-23.
Yeah.
Who's got a better defense, Bama or A&M? It's Alabama. Who's more tested, Bama or A&M? It's Alabama. I'm telling you, Alabama is simply put a better football team who's more well-coached. And in my opinion, I think Nussmeier's going to have trouble breaking 300 yards. I think Alabama's going to run for 150, 200 yards, and Alabama's going to win the game 31-24. I think it is the formula is tried and true. I think it really is something that I think Bama needs this win.
Oh, I would agree with that. You have to have it.
I think the folks at the college football playoff,
yeah, you got to have it.
They don't give a crap about nothing but the Tide this weekend because I think the college football playoff wants Alabama in the college football.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
I think they want them in.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that. 31-24, Alabama wins the football game. Where do you come down?
I'm gonna go a closer game. I'm gonna stay at a field goal. I'm gonna go 34-31, Bama.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Monty for the kids. Giving Friday. Why are we picking on Loner Phone? If we're going to get wow, this has to be Oak State, James. If we're going to pick on him, remind him that SMU beat Pitt like a redheaded stepchild. Now for sure this is Oak State.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm proud of you, bro. That's a really good take. That is well done, dude.
Is Loner Phone here today? He is.
Like that is classic junk talking.
James, they best up Pitt. Very strong effort from your fifth favorite team. By the way, I was only one of this program to support SMU getting a P4 invite. Oh my God. I see, and Loner Phone probably does not embrace it. But Loner Phone is now on Tanner Plummer's level with your BS argument that Apple is giving people loaner phones, which is why he's named Loner Phone. And your inability to hit the pay button, whether you were a fraudster or not, I don't care. You didn't hit the pay button until the end of the show, which I thought was, hey, man, it's hysterical as long as you hit the button.
And he did donate today, just to give credit where
he
credit's
did
due.
donate today.
He did donate.
What did he
today.
donate?
Doesn't tell me the amount. It says
Okay.
an hour ago he donated.
Well, I appreciate that, Loner Phone.
Yeah.
Loner Phone, very generous. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are now down to about $375.
Dollars. Yeah.
We need about $375 in 20 minutes. Who's got the goods?
Yeah. Come on.
Who's got the goods? Right now, hit the Advocates on Venmo. Advocates donations. James. Advocates donations on Venmo. Take a screenshot, send it to Jake, or don't. We're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. And right now, I think it's James or Maury with the comment section. But
we've got Buffalo Hunter in there too, though.
No, Buffalo Hunter's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Advocates donations. If you want to win the gift card, you got to be strong. And if you mention Monty, that would be great. But doesn't matter. Right here, Advocates donations. Advocates donation. 100% of your donation goes to feed hungry kids on Thanksgiving. We're about $375 short. That is what we're looking for. So hook it up. The Big Lubbock. Hello, Big Lubbock. Colorado could beat Bama. With their offense, they're going to be in every game. McCluskey. Who's better, Bama or Vandy? Oh, wait. Vandy's having a resurgent season. Chrissy, Bama don't have a pass rusher that A&M has. I don't see Bama winning. Okay. I don't disagree with you. Let's, as we work our way to BYU and Utah predictions, because I see everybody in the comments section on that game. Georgia, Lane Train, Oxford, 2.5-point home dog, another SEC home dog. 55.5. You're telling me Georgia is only favored by 2.5 points in Oxford. 2:30 ABC, the American Broadcast Company. I don't know. The point is, I love Ole Miss at home. Love Ole Miss at home. But, Jake, I think it's going to be awfully difficult for them to beat Georgia, and I don't care where the game's played.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss. I like Lane Train, Lane Kiffin. I like Jackson Dart. I like the offense, solid defense. But you're talking about a national championship contending football team here. This is a game that you expect Georgia to come in and do their thing. And to me, again, I'm going to keep saying it, and I'll die on the hill. Another opportunity for Lane Kiffin to show his worth, to show his value, to show his ability to win against the best competition in the SEC. And Last year when you played Georgia, they blew you out at your place. Here's another opportunity. What are you going to do with it?
It's a little musty in here because you keep hating on Lane Train.
Dank, please.
It's a little dank in here because you keep hating on Lane Train. Ole Miss this year does not have a quality win. I agree with that. Ole Miss does not have a quality win. But listen how many points they've scored. How did that Arkansas game end up? They scored 63 points.
Yeah.
26 on Okie. Well, Oklahoma sucks. They lost at LSU 29-26 in a barn burner.
Right.
27 on South Carolina, 17 against Kentucky in a loss. 52 on Georgia directional, 40 on Wake Forest, 52 on Middle Tennessee State.
Not Abilene.
And 76. I said 76 on Furman. But here's the thing that I think most people don't understand. Jackson Dart is maybe the most undervalued quarterback in the country. He's got 3,210 yards passing, 21 touchdowns against only 3 picks. My guy is completing 71.7% of his passes. This dude has been sacked 18 times, 6 times against LSU alone. Listen to his numbers. 418, 377, 377, 382, 261, 285, 284, 311, and 515 yards.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
That dude don't miss.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, he's doing that dude don't miss at Ole Miss.
See, so it's miss, and it all kind of works together.
Even though he should be playing quarterback for BYU, and he's not.
I don't get down like that.
He's at Ole Miss, and they're good. Jackson Dart is very good, but they're going to get curb stomped by Georgia. I like Lane. His girlfriend is hot.
Monty, they're gonna, after the game, they're gonna be on the tarmac talking about where areas they can improve.
Ole Miss is really solid. They're going to have the ball with a chance to win the game, and then their dreams are going to die right in front of their eyes. Because Georgia's just too good. They're going to send dudes off the edge. Jackson Dart is going to need multiple hot tub, cold tub swaps.
Hot ass.
Georgia's very good. Georgia's elite. I think arguably Georgia's the best team in the country. This is going where you're going to wonder, how did Lane lose to Kentucky? Which is what we were all wondering anyway. But here's the issue. 2 turnovers and 12 penalties.
Yeah, undisciplined.
Against LSU. It's Lane Kiffin football. Raiders, SC, Tennessee, undisciplined football. And that's why they're going to lose this game. They will likely have a minimum of 8 penalties, which is why they will lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
They will turn the football over at least once, which is why they will lose the game. They will not be able to hold up on the offensive line. Jackson Dart is not going to throw for 500 yards. I wonder, does he get to 300? That's why they're going to lose the game. Georgia's elite. They're far better than LSU. This game scares me on one level if I'm Georgia. You're going to pin your ears back and come after Jackson Dart. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If they're able to hit multiple big plays, and they certainly are capable of that, this is going to be a game down the stretch. And if Jackson Dart has an offense on the field with a chance to win the game, I like his odds.
Well, and I think to that point, let's not forget what Alabama did against Georgia's defense in the first half of that game, right? A lot of shots down the field, completions, big plays, got out to a huge lead, and then gave it up. So, again, I would say Jackson Dart's a better quarterback than Jalen Milroe, and nobody knows about him somehow. And, I think if I'm Lane Train, frankly, against Georgia, I don't think you have anything to lose. I would go right after him. I would give it your absolute best shot, all the firepower. Like, I don't want to see a slow, methodical running offense. I want to see turn around and hand it off and start taking shots early.
But here's the problem. Georgia's got 12 turnovers in the last 6 games. 11 of those 12 are from Carson Beck. Do you guys have any idea what college football team leads the SEC in tackles for loss?
TFLs.
Do you have any idea who that dank-ass son of a biscuit is that leads the SEC in TFLs? It is Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They're a tackle for loss machine.
Yeah.
And when Carson Beck is uncomfortable, he turns the ball over. So everybody, I was watching a preview show on YouTube last night, which is don't ever do that. It's the worst possible decision you can make.
I got the YouTube TV.
One guy predicted 56-14 Georgia. When has Georgia's offense been 56 points? Never, ever. And it won't be in Oxford. It is 28 points. I think I have to go 28-27. Georgia wins a very close game. And if somebody scores 30, the game ends. They automatically will stop the game, even if it's in the first quarter. If Jackson Dart scores 30 points on their first possession,
I win. Google me.
They'll just stop the game. Whoever scores 30 points wins this game. And if Carson Beck turns the ball over, Ole Miss will win this game. I don't think it's happening. 28-27 Georgia.
Yeah, I see a little bit more chaos in this game.
Chaos.
Yeah, I don't think it's as tidy as that. Meaning, like, I think there's going to be turnovers. I think, like you said, that stat about Carson Beck, 11 out of their last 12 turnovers have been on him. You look at Jackson Dart and that Ole Miss offense, it's a passing offense. There's no question about it. And when you're passing against Georgia with the kind of pressure they're able to bring, and with, again, and I know I brought this up today with the Big 12 teams, it's the exact opposite with Georgia. Georgia's play calling on defense is typically spot on for down and distance and situation and time left on the clock. So if Jackson Dart's going to be under pressure, we know that, and he's going to be passing a lot. You figure he's probably got an interception in this game at some point. So with that being the case, that says there's going to be more points scored in this game. That's my opinion. I would say you're probably looking at a touchdown win for Georgia when it's all said and done.
It's a tutty, please.
Yeah, tutty. I think you're probably looking at a 38-31 kind of game, because I think there's going to be turnovers.
If it's 38-31, Ole Miss is winning. If it's a 70-point game, Ole Miss is winning. I'm telling you, and I know that you guys think I'm crazy, but as Tanner Plummer said, quoting the great Oak State James, Lane Kiffin's wife-to-be is really high maintenance and hot. If they score 70 points, Lane is going to party like he's at the club.
Hot.
I mean,
ass.
You would be out of your mind to think that Lane Kiffin's hot girlfriend doesn't celebrate if they score 70.
F around and find out.
32-25 Dogs. That's a likely score. I don't have a problem with that. Stupid. Look what Florida did to them in the first half. That's so good. That is so good. I think, is Florida a good football team and they just don't have a lot of developed talent right now? Because that's the story being sold.
That's the lie that everyone's telling right now. Yeah.
Or is Billy Napier just a shitty coach? My point is, you look at Georgia, the Georgia-Florida game. That was 13-6 Florida at the half. And then Georgia showed up and scored 28 points, and Florida scored 7, and they lost 30-20. 34-20.
Is not the first time we've seen that out of a Georgia game.
No. But I also say Carson Beck, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yep.
If he has 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions tomorrow, they're going to lose. And if Ole Miss wins this game, you remember old fat ass told you.
Old fat ass told you.
You remember Uncle Monty told you.
You know, the fat old Mormon dying guy.
If Ole Miss wins this game,
yeah,
the rest of the schedule's academic because they're going to beat wholesale ass in the Egg Bowl. They're going to the college football playoff.
Yeah. Where are they? Aren't they, what are they, 18th right now? If memory serves, in the country?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I don't want to misspeak. Ole Miss is 16th in the country.
16th in the country.
And again, I know.
So again,
Marty, you're trying to make hay. I'm not. Here's what I would ask you. How many vulnerable teams are in the top 12 right now?
A lot.
Like you look at 10, I think Notre Dame's going to have a very difficult job getting in.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Mainly because I'm worried about the SC game. Alabama, good chance Alabama loses tomorrow. If Alabama loses tomorrow, where does
Alabama loses, Ole Miss wins. Where is Ole Miss in the top 12? They have to be.
It's close because I also think at some point Texas is going to have to tell us who they are. Anybody know who Texas has this week in Austin? Florida. Without their quarterback. At Arkansas, Kentucky, at A&M to end the season.
The Lagway.
He's hurt. Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see.
Right.
Mississippi State at Georgia. You think Tennessee's going to lose again? UTEP at Vandy. Tennessee's going to lose again. LSU. You think LSU loses again? Bama, Florida, at Florida, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. Could be. Could be. I'm just telling you now. When you look at the playoffs and you look at the hill that Ole Miss has to climb, is it really that much of a hill? Is it possible BYU loses again? Yeah. Or loses at all? I mean, I am no Nostramonte, but am I the only one that thinks that OHIO is going to wind up slapping the crap out of the Hoosiers?
I mean, I'm almost like Notre Dame.
I'm not a believer in Indiana.
Nah.
They got to go to Ohio State on the 23rd of November.
Good luck.
OHIO is going to slap the tits off of Iowa or Indiana in that game.
Oh, I win. Google me.
Michigan tomorrow. That's in Bloomington. And Purdue in Bloomington. They're going to lose to Ohio State. How far does Indiana fall if they lose to Ohio State?
Far.
A lot.
Into the high teens.
Right? So, I mean, I can go up and down this list. Friends, we can play this game all day.
Yeah.
What about Penn State? The Fighting Sandusky's. Insert as you will. Washington.
Dude.
What?
Insert as you will.
The nicknames. Stop.
Bro,
the nicknames.
Dude, this is a family program, bro.
Since when? Washington.
Macaque.
The monkeys are still on the loose. Where is it? Where did that happen? Ohio?
I believe so, yeah.
What was it? 60 or something monkeys?
It's a 40.
40 something macaques got loose in Ohio. I'm not even joking. Okay, real quick.
South Carolina, same thing.
Pedo State, South Carolina, same thing.
Yeah.
Ohio, South Carolina.
Yeah,
I mean,
who's
they're right
counting?
next to each other.
Yeah, come on.
Geographically speaking, in the universe, in astronomy. Washington at Purdue, at Minnesota, Maryland. Penn State could very well lose this weekend to Washington. Now, it's at Happy Ending Valley. Ole Miss, if they run the table, they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Brandon Butler, Indiana, all depends on the amount of the beats them by. OHIO is kicking the crap out of Indiana. Blowout, they fall hard. Close game, they're still in. Could be right. Could be right. Stupid! Don't forget, Oregon has a trap game coming up against Wisco. Well, that's not a trap game. That's a tough game. And Oregon has Maryland at Wisco, Washington. That's not a walk in the park.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a walk in the park. And again, I just look at the SEC. And if we truth tell on the SEC and let's say Ole Miss is behind LSU. LSU's losing this weekend. LSU or Alabama's losing this weekend.
Yep.
Ole Miss beats Georgia. They bump up significantly. What about SMU? Boston College at Virginia, California.
Yeah, just don't play anybody to finish the season here. So I think, where are they at? What's their rank?
They are, what are they, 15th? SMU's 13th.
I mean, you got to win out to get in. Even at 13, you got to win out to get in.
I mean, I think Pitt got exposed as the frauds I told you they were. I don't know. I think there's going to be all kinds of losses. My opinion is Ole Miss, if they beat Georgia, is in, period. The Bama LSU winner is probably...
And I think it helps them a lot if BYU loses and no longer is in the top 10.
Could be. Could be. What's my Ducks ranked? I don't know. Quack a duck a luck? Aren't they ranked 17th?
Yeah, something like that. They're garbage. They're terrible. They're not good. So it's just,
Because it's one of only 3 9-0 teams.
Yeah.
Indiana, frauds. Miami, lucky. Oregon, nobody likes you. Nice Jordans, though. That's just where I come down on it. All right, 5 minutes to go on Venmo. Let's get a final push working here on Venmo. You guys were feeding hungry kids for Thanksgiving. Advocates donations, we're still $370 short, I think. We need $370 in the next 5 minutes. How are we going to make that happen? We're $370 short.
We don't usually miss.
I think we've missed. I think we've hit it every time.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I'll just be over here waiting.
Okay.
I think I've hit it every time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We haven't missed. We need $370 advocates donations. Actually, no, wait. We need $365. I gave a second time $355. I need the Amazon card. Plus, I loved how SMU sounded Pitt into the ground. You mean pounded Pitt? Well, you need an Amazon gift card so you can learn to spell. I'm kidding.
Pause, bro. Pause.
You're TCU educated. I don't expect you. You're a TCU student. I don't expect you to be able to spell.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
So I just said you can't spell it, and it's because you went to TCU. Burn! Old Tatanka. See you, Buffs.
Oh.
Ho ho! Thank you guys. So we're $360 now. $360
Come on, bro. Let's go.
From $1,000 this morning.
We're gonna do BYU Utah.
Loaner phone. James, I get it, man. Not upset at all. It's all good.
Bro.
Stadium guy James. Pitt is a decent team. I was just trying to win that gift card. No, they're not.
Don't apologize.
Now you're not going to win the gift card because
you apologized, dude. You backed off the take.
Are you kidding me? Xavier Wolf, NGL, this new college football playoff format is looking good. NGL means Noe's going to lie.
No good losses.
No good losses. Exactly right. I think that's what it means.
No good losses. This new CFP format is looking good. Is that
NGL? Naomi's got good legs. This new college football playoff. All right. See, it's pure comedy. That's why you got to hit him on Venmo. $360 away from $1,000 this morning. Don't leave us short. Right here, Advocates Donations. We'll give away an Amazon gift card. I want to do it right in 2 minutes. Somebody's got to hit us up. Take a screenshot. Send it to Jake on Insta Snapface. And if you don't, we can check the feed, but send it to Jake. The comment section matters. Advocates Donations on Venmo. No good losses. Pedo State would disagree. No, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. All right, let's keep going on game previews while you guys donate on Venmo. Colorado, Texas Tech. JK, this is probably likely the biggest game of the weekend in the Big 12. Obviously, BYU and Utah, but I really don't think BYU and Utah are that close. And I know that that's probably not going to sit well with a lot of people. But I think when you look at this game and you look at the fact that Colorado's offense should be twice as good as Texas Tech's defense at a minimum, I don't see how Colorado loses this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Colorado to lose this game. The only way that I feel Colorado would lose this game is just simply by turning it over. The Texas Tech offense is good enough to make you pay for your mistakes. And so if you play a clean game and you protect the football and you just do what you've done, you probably are going to win this game. And I only say that because Colorado has shown us time and time again, they're capable of dropping 40 on almost anybody when they're right. And Texas Tech, that defense, it's a liability. I know that, you played this really close game with Iowa State last week, but let's be real about Iowa State. right? We've always had questions about Rocco Becht and that offense and their ability to put up points. So it's not like there's some juggernaut of an offense. And this Colorado offense is that. They are a juggernaut of an offense. They will run by you. They are more than happy to run it up. And to me, I sit here and I say, this is a very simple story in this game. Can Texas Tech score enough to keep up? That's their plight in life. And I would expect
Texas Tech's 124th in defense nationally.
Yeah. So with that being the case, I would expect Texas Tech to try to run the football because Colorado, while improved, has shown vulnerability stopping the run. And you have one of the best backs in the country. So the formula for Texas Tech here is run the football effectively, try to put together 8-9 minute drives by running the football. And give up as few as possible. If you can keep them under 35, I think you got a shot. But
the
I
problem
just don't think
is
you can.
Texas Tech's defense is dank, and I think
that's the issue, isn't it?
See what you did? You see what you did? Whoever said that? Do you see what you did?
I think that I think it is very interesting that we're in a situation where Texas Tech actually has a better statistical offense than Colorado, but their defense, I think before last week's game, Texas Tech was the worst defense in the country.
Because it's garbage.
And they bumped up to 124th now. You're not going to change it. I don't see any way you keep Colorado under 35 points here. I don't see any way that this game goes under. You look at 62.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a 42-37 Colorado win.
Yeah, I actually think it's less than that. I for Texas Tech, I think that Colorado is going to be able to put drives together. And I'm not even saying they're going to run the football all that effectively. They may, but my biggest thing here is you're going to score points and you're going to be effective on offense for Colorado, which means you're going to have time of possession, probably high 20 minutes worth of time of possession for Colorado. So, I would say 42 to 45 points for Colorado. And I do think that Tech has trouble getting to 30 points only because the Colorado defense is going to be playing extra DBs most of the game. And when you're trying to throw through a defense like that, that's not typically going to work out for you. So I would say probably a 42-27, 42-24, not super close.
I think I give Taj Brooks a lot more credit than that. They average 160 yards of offense on the ground. Taj Brooks is a stud. I think he runs for close to 200 yards on his own. I just don't think you're going to win a shootout here. So, and Donuts, you have a good weekend too, my friend. I like it 42-37. That's where I would come down on it. Get your score predictions in the comment section. Mile High Phil says 42-21. How do you hold Texas Tech to 21 points?
Yeah,
I don't know how you do that.
You look at what Iowa State's defense did to that offense, and then you compare that to Colorado. You're going to score more than 21 points if you're Tech. But my issue is I don't know that you're going to have the ball enough to score 30. Because Colorado's going to have the ball, they're going to move the ball, they're going to score, and
I would agree with that.
With that being the case, I just don't know that you're going to have enough opportunities truly to go down the field and score more than 30. Now, again, we have seen crazier things happen. Like I would not, if you said to me, "Hey, Colorado and Tech are going to play a Miami-Louisville kind of game where it's just up and down, back and forth," like that wouldn't surprise anybody. But I just think that Texas Tech, I'm guessing. Just my gut feeling is going to come out and try to lean on Taj a lot.
Yes.
And they're going to try and bring that defense close to the line of scrimmage. And then when it's opportunistic, they're going to try and take some shots. I think everybody playing on this football field knows that Texas Tech can't turn the football over if they want to win. Yep. I think Colorado could still get the win. Texas Tech can't afford any turnovers.
Yep. Mile High Phil says, ask UCF how that worked out for him. Very true. You're not wrong.
How what worked out for him?
The running offense.
Yeah.
Tech Colorado first to 50 wins could be. TCU is a 2-year college. Well, man.
Dude.
I love the hate. Third entry, I need books. Who's this latest entry?
Buddy.
Hello. Monty helps kids. The Oak State fan was actually talking about Lane's girlfriend when he said hot ass.
Hot ass.
See, he's trying. He's making
He's
the
working
effort.
hard.
This is his third entry now. Which matters. Which matters. It does. That means we're down to 280 now. So we're really close. $280 is what we're looking for. That's a big one. That's a big one. RJC man says I did screenshot on Twitter. Okay.
All good, man. Not playing a game this week. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's all good. Appreciate the
you.
donation. That's cool. We're down to what did I say? 280.
Yeah.
We're down to 280.
All right, let's do it.
What?
BYU and Utah.
Why?
Let's do it.
Let's do
F
it.
around and find out.
BYU and Utah. The Cold War. The game of the week that will be played in, say it with me, dank conditions in Salt Lake City.
NGL, it's going to be a dank game.
Yeah, nice girlfriend legs. I know it means not going to lie.
Well, Monty, it means not going to lie. I don't know how you don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan got
lit is really tough.
Nathan got listeria.
Yeah.
My point is BYU at Utah +4 for Utah, another home favorite or a home dog in a night game. 41.5 Saturday night, 8:15 ESPN.
Spin.
The Entertainment and Sports Programming Network will bring you BYU at Utah. A huge game. Huge game on both sides of the ball. It is all that Utah has to play for. It is their Super Bowl. It is the game of the year. It is everything you want in a game of the year. I think it is one of those things that you just got to have it. You just got to have it. And I think right now, the things that separate these two teams, if you put these two teams together, you'd have a national championship caliber football team. Unfortunately, that's not the way the world works. And when I look at BYU's advantage over Utah, it's across the board. What do I mean by that? When I look at the advantage that BYU has over Utah, certainly the quarterback. I think the offensive line leans towards BYU here. I think Utah's offensive line has gotten better, but with Moko Fisi out for the year, you can't give them that check box. I think the offensive line, the quarterback, the wide receivers, and yes, I think the running backs are better at BYU. Offensively, it's not close. BYU is more explosive. BYU is in my opinion, schematically better. I think that Fesi has done a great job with these wide receivers and tight ends. I think that this BYU offense is fantastic. Can the BYU defense stop the run? Because here's the thing. Mekhi Bernard has been an absolute battering ram this season. He is explosive. He is good after first contact. That's what's going to decide this game. Oh, wait, the quarterbacks are going to decide this game. Utah doesn't have one. BYU's got one of the best in the conference. And I never thought I would say this in a rivalry game in the Cold War, especially playing up in cold, dank Salt Lake City. BYU is going to run away in this game. I think BYU has a chance to score 30 points in this game, and I can't find a way to predict 17 points for Utah, which is why I'm at 31-17, Jake. I think BYU is going to win the Holy War.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the biggest thing in this game is going to be protecting the football if you're Jake Retzloff. I've been saying it all year, and I'm going to continue to say it. It is the beginning and the end for this BYU team, because you know the defense is good enough to win you the ball game, or should I say the BYU defense is good enough to not lose you the ball game here. So will they run on BYU's defense? Yeah, they're going to run on BYU's defense. Is that going to decide the game? I don't think it's going to decide the game, because I just don't think you're going to be able to score enough points. That's the problem. So to me, the one thing to watch for is Jake Retzloff protecting the football. If I see arm slot down here, ball sailing to the right into number 15's hands, you're not going to be in a good place. But I don't think we're going to see that. What I think we're going to see is a really strong game plan, a really intentional effort to run the football first, then work play action. Because if you've watched BYU's offense, you know when Jake Retzloff is playing play action football, they are lethal. And that's what I think they want to get to in this game. And I think they will get to it in this game. And I think this is going to be the win that pushes you into the college football playoff. I think you're going to score 35 points in this game. I think you're going to get people's attention. And I think Utah is going to have trouble scoring 10 points in this game because they're going to turn the football over. They don't have the quarterback play to outthrow the secondary for BYU. And I just don't see a way that Utah wins the ball game unless BYU makes a bunch of mistakes, which I just don't think is going to happen because they haven't been doing that the last month of this season. So I like it 35-10 BYU.
35-10 BYU.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into the comments section. What do you guys think? Tanner says, all right, I'm awake. Eric and Raleigh, Utah to ruin the Big 12's chances of getting into the college football playoff. Very much could be. Mayor McCluskey, BYU 38, poverty program 17. Okay.
Dude, you guys are such savages. Jesus.
Poverty program. The Holy War, BYU 24, Utah 17. I don't think it will be decided until the fourth quarter. Utah's defense is very good. Utah's defense is very, very good. And for me, that's why I think you really have to go man to man and look at the matchups. The secondary at Utah has been better than we thought it would be. This wide receiver room's elite at BYU. I think it's one of the best in the entire country. And again, if you could put these two programs together and combine one football team, they're Georgia, they're Oregon, they're that good.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. And in this game, man for man, BYU's offense lines up exceptionally well against Utah's defense. And guys like Darius Lassiter are going to be the reason that they win. Chase Roberts is going to be the reason that they win. The other thing is BYU has been solid kicking the football. Solid. They're not turning the ball over at the rate that they had in previous years. That's why they're winning games.
Drew Wakely will put his stamp on this game.
I believe that it's true. 24-17. I could see that score happening. I absolutely could see that score happening. Let me get in this. So you have another donation.
Before you put it on the screen.
Yes.
This donation is changing the conversation about who's going to win the gift card today. Just got to put it out there right now.
Building drama. $280. Calford supports Monty's kids.
Dude. I like.
We made it to 1,000.
Bro.
Yes!
Like.
Way to go, Calford.
What do you even say?
Well, Calford routinely says he doesn't want the Amazon gift card.
Yeah, I know.
But he put Monty's kids in the comment section. So we love and appreciate that. All right, before we finish out on BYU and Utah, in the comments section now, who do you guys think should win? Is it the hero that we needed in Calford? Could be. Loner phone. Utah upsets BYU 13-9. Okay.
Come on, bro.
Okay. I don't think that's happening. Snooker. BYU 38, Utah 17. Okay. Tech 35, CU 34. Okay.
That's the big Lubbock for you.
Travis, Utah 2, BYU nothing. I think that could happen.
Man, wow.
Seems likely.
Man, that safety they got in the first quarter really led to a great win.
Jeff Johnson, hello. Hope everything's good with the Colt. Enjoy the game. You too, my friend. Aggie, but it's Utah and then everyone else, right, boys? Could be. See, bitter-ass Big 12 fans on Utah. Rent-free. Utah upsets BYU. I read that one. Big ups, Kim Coulter says. Kirby, curb stomp. BYU edges Utah 24-21. Okay. The Big Lubbock. BYU 27, Utah 13. BYU needs to pound the rock, control the time of possession, suck the air out of the dank Rice Eccles.
Play from ahead and you'll be fine.
I think that's a very good point. Have a good weekend. JJ Colt is doing good. Steely, you too. 24-7 BYU, Kim Coulter
that
says.
could be. I just have a hard time seeing Utah scoring more than 14 points in this game.
Utah will overperform because they are at home. They haven't, though, this year.
Yeah, they haven't.
Jeff Johnson, fist bump.
Johnson.
Xavier says BYU ain't losing. I would agree with that. BYU 21, Utah 14. Big K isn't going to run it up on Witt. That's a really good point. I think style points matter.
You got to score at least 30 in this game. I think, if you're, let's say it's 17-7 going to the half. 17-7 going to the half. You got to try and score 30 points. Like that's not running it up on them. That's football.
Everybody's favorite remedial reading TCU student is now begging for the Amazon gift card. Will you give me the card if I admit you were right about BYU's wide receiver room is way better than Oak State's?
You're going to have to do better than that. Will you give me the Amazon gift card if I admit I was a buffoon when I said Oklahoma State had the best wide receiver room in the country?
And Zane Flores was winning the Heisman Trophy.
Come on, bro.
I've cut
you some slack. I haven't been holding you to the fire, but if you're going to ask for a gift card, you got to come clean.
And you got to do more than have Ollie Gordon run stairs.
Yeah, NGL,
Mayor McCluskey. A-Rod going to call an awesome game and get payback for getting fired. Jay Hill going to be stellar.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
A-Rod makes me nervous. Attaboy, Calford. Calford is king. Calford is awesome. Good job, Calford. Baylor 28. West Virginia 24. Okay. Delaric, BYU 35-21. Utah 2 defensive scores.
No.
I don't know about that. Pokes suck. Go BYU. Save the Big 12. K. Sumbry. My guy. Mile High Phil. Kyle will have something special. BYU, Utah. Utah 13, BYU 10.
No.
Give Oak State James the gift card because he admitted his wife isn't hot. Oh, my God.
Wow, bro.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Mayor McCluskey, is Oak State James trying to grow cock the gift card? I think he is.
Macaque.
I think he is.
All right. So who's it going to be? We got to move on. Who's it going to be? Who are we going with?
It doesn't have to be Oak State James.
Stay hard.
He's writing a book about pedo priests. He is. I think you give it to him only because he went to TCU and he's not going to get educated at TCU.
That was a masterpiece of dog shit.
He should have gone. If you're going to write a book about pedo priests, you should have gone. No.
James.
My vote is Oak State James. Has he ever won the gift card?
Yes.
Oh, he has.
In the past, he has. Yes. I believe he's won once. Yes. Okay, we have a late entry here.
Maury Alvarez, TDS ripping off TUN's head. Oak State James. Isaac Wilson's going to smash Cougar tails. That's a really good one.
Okay, this is not a winner, but this is kind of funny. This entry I just got.
Yeah, way to kill the buzz on this one.
Well, no, I mean, it's a good entry.
Monty, you shouldn't even put it in there. It's not going to win.
That. I did not say that. I said it's not going to win.
This is some weak-ass sauce right here, Monty.
NGO.
This is going to lose. This better not be funny. For the Monty kids, James out backpedaling still like he said something about his wife. Shake my head, RJC. Wow. 13-20. K-fan. Please. Is that Brandon Butler?
Yeah.
Maybe Brandon Butler wins. That's 2 now. He's given $26.40.
Doll hairs.
And he gave a bunch of Monty Show. It's Oak State James, I think. Comment section, are we all in agreement? It's Oak State James. Spelling bee for the gift card if TCU students.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Comment section. Who's winning? Oak State James, or what do we got?
Is Oak State James still married? He is. Pedo priests? He is.
Yeah.
Oak State James. Gumby says to give it to James. Fine, give it to Growcock. Okay, Oak State James.
Macaque.
Oak State James, congratulations.
Good talk.
You won the Amazon gift card. You can go get your books now. Thanks for being here, James. James takes a lot of heat on the show.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you being here, James. Thanks to everybody who donated today. All your money's going to the kids. Calford, you're a stud. Appreciate you.
Gonna need an IPF report on Monday, okay?
Way to get us back over the top $1,000 today. Appreciate that very much. Enjoy the games. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.